Hello there and welcome back to another edition of SIlly Car Showdown. Today we are taking a look at the 2006 Audi RS4. This car was requested by Jason Poland, who has very good taste. I really like this generation of the Audi RS4, probably my favourite overall. As much as I like the later Avant car, I will say this one is pretty cool. It has that 4.2 litre V8 up head, which makes a lovely noise. It's a really nice design. Yeah, back from when Audis didn't all look exactly the same, they just looked mostly the same. Yeah, a really nice car, and one that I do have quite a bit of experience with building these up. They're pretty good cars if you want sort of a pretty cheap car to start racing with. These can be a pretty excellent option. I did a build of these on Forza Motorsport 5. I was building up cheap A-Class cars. This is one of the ones I built, and I was very impressed with that car's performance. This time, though, money is not an issue, and we also have an engine swap to go into this. Our choices are a 6.2 litre V8 or the 5.2 litre V10, and Jason wants me to use the 5.2 litre V10, which I will gladly oblige to. As much as I like the stock 4.2 litre V8, the V10 undoubtedly makes a much better noise. In terms of aero parts, we can't use any of them because it is Forza aero, which is not allowed via the rules of this series. Also, no drivetrain swaps, but I wouldn't anyways. We do actually get race tyres on this one, unlike that mental Jeep from last time. Although 275 tyres, was expecting bigger ones on the Audi, but there you go. That is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. But we will go ahead and deal with that. I'm expecting good things out of this car, to be honest with you. It should be a pretty solid all-round performer, although of course we've had cars sort of completely obliterate our expectations, slash be a lot worse than our expectations before, so at this point in this series I don't try to attach much logic to this. But overall, I am expecting this to be a pretty nice car to drive. Gonna ditch out a bunch of rate. We actually get up to S1900 exactly without touching the engine, which is quite nice. Also, the PI should now just climb nice and steadily up the totem pole as we stick all the rest of this stuff in. Stick in the displacement. The big one, of course, being the turbos. We're going to get up to S2940. With those, S2942 with the intercooler, and finally the flywheel keeps us at S2942. 1,212 horsepower, 831 foot-pound torque, 3,022 pounds of weight, 2.9 seconds 60, a top speed of 220 miles per hour. Pretty good statistics all round from the Audi. Maybe a little bit more weighty than some of the cars that we've had, but then again, as I've expressed before, weight in a series like this can sometimes be actually a beneficial thing. It helps to keep the cars nice and grounded. I am expecting good things from this car. Those tyres do slightly concern me a little bit, but overall I'm expecting decent results. Let's get to a track and see if that holds true. So here we are at our Edinburgh course with our Audi RS4, ready to gauge in 5 laps of the circuit to see how quick it can go. Our current leader is the Lamborghini Huracan, the 12 GT, which at the time of 155.743. The Audi, not really expected to beat that. I am expecting this to be quick though. If I can beat the V8 Impreza, I will be pretty happy with that. I expect it to go quicker than that. But that is a decent enough goal. That's at the time of a 143.504. It should certainly be quicker than the Jeep from last time, on the grounds that it has actual proper tyres. Which, speaking of which, it's nice to have some actual grip in this car. Yeah, so far so good. I can feel the fact that the tyres are a bit skinnier than I'd like though, I've got to be honest. Definitely can feel some limitations coming from those tyres. In terms of straight line speed, we're alright. We're not Jeep levels of ridiculous, but we do seem to be pretty good. One thing I am noticing, probably on the grounds that this is a proper manual, not a flappy paddle, as far as I'm aware anyway, the one in Forza is a manual. These RS4s were sold as manuals. The actual gear shift action on this is a bit on the slow side, it has to be said. For those of you who don't know, I do not run manual clutch. I run manual only, mostly because I don't see the point of learning clutch for pretty much the only game that I know of that has a clutch that isn't a simulator. So I don't really bother. learning that stuff. And yeah, clutch action does feel a little bit sloppy. Feels actually kind of like the Jeep. The Jeep had sort of that same kind of issue. Okay. 143, 511. Well, it gets to my prediction on its opening lap with a with a standing start. So pretty good time from the Audi. That being said, it is decided to go sideways on its second laps, which is probably going to affect the time of it a fair old little chunk. Seems to be driving very nice though. Very nice, very predictable, very Audi to drive so far. Not too much drama, nothing too much in the way of an issue. I'm not going to complain at that. I quite like it when cars drive the way they're supposed to, like cars. Who would have thought? That's quite a novel concept, but it is a good concept nonetheless. Yeah, it seems to be driving pretty nicely at the momento. Right, on the brakes again. Yeah, the only problem with this car is it's going to be, once I set a time, or once I sort a lap out with no real mistakes, trying to best that time is going to be a little bit difficult. It's what I always find with cars like this Audi, even up towards, you know, certain supercars with four-wheel drive. Once you set a good time, it's really hard to best that time because you can't really do that much more to push an all-wheel drive car, because pushing an all-wheel drive car usually results in understeer, and understeer doesn't make your lap time any better for the most part. You know, there are some exceptions to that rule. Cars like the 911 GT2 RS, that is an incredibly understeery car in Forza 7, and that is a very, very quick car indeed. But with this, I'm not sure that being... Okay, 141.231. You can sort of see what I was on about a couple of episodes ago. Sort of these slower cars getting, well, you know, cars which... I don't know, it's hard to explain. As I'm learning the course more, cars are getting quicker. There you go, that's what I was trying to say. I can't really speak tonight, I do apologise. Hopefully the coffee will start settling in, because I've still got quite a few of these to do tonight. At least the times are good, even if my commentary is its usual terrible best. Right. That was not quite what I wanted to do through that corner, but there you go. But yeah, so far with the Audi, so good. I am liking it. The funny thing is, this is Jason's second request, of course. The last time Jason had a car around, it went straight to the top. Of course, we are talking about the V8 Ford Focus RS, which was actually champion for a fair old while until the, well, I say for a fair old while, it lasted 2 episodes. And then the Ferrari Lamborghini Huracan V12 GT happened, but, you know, again, as I've said before, I don't think that car's invincible. I really don't, and some of the requests I've been getting recently have been more for your top-level contender cars, so it'll be interesting to see what one of those will do when it reaches the track. Of course, we had the CX-75, which got very close, but no biscuit. I don't think this Audi is going to be the car which knocks off the Lamborghini. But that being said, it really isn't far off. You know, it is a really nice driving car. 140.574. The lap times do keep dropping on this thing. We also had the X5, which was sort of a sleeper success car. So, you know, I truly do believe that one day one of these sort of four-door family saloon cars could get very close to that Lamborghini. Very close indeed. Again, we had the X5, which I believe went around in like a 139 or something like that. You know, that's not a time to shake a stick at. That is a very quick time. I'm trying to focus a little bit on getting a good lap time out of this. I know I've cocked this one up slightly. If I can get a completely legit run with this car, it wouldn't surprise me if I can get that on the level of the X5 with a 139 something. Because it does feel like it'll do it. It is a really good all-round car. Just in terms of everything, it's pretty much spot on. There's no real complaints from me when it comes on this one. It's just a nice driving car, you know. Much in the same way that most Audis are. There's no real gimmicks here or anything like that. It's just straightforward. I am a quick car. I do pretty well. Drive me, love me, and set a good time with me. And that's sort of what it's doing, which is quite nice. Yeah, this lap's been a little bit of a cock-up, I will admit to that one. This next lap, though, I will hope to get a good or a better time out of the Audi. Right, let's do this. Let's see what we can do with the RS4. Oh, don't sail past... Oh, I'm so happy that happened. I so thought I was going to sail into that little alleyway and that would have been the end of that. Start of this lap not been particularly the best, but... I've said before, you know, when I'm driving stuff like Imprezas, four-wheel drive cars do struggle through that first section quite a bit. Sort of up until this point, they really do have issues, and then sort of past this point, they get back on par with the rear-wheel drive cars, and in some cases, they are much better. For this section, I would much rather have four-wheel drive than a two-wheel drive car, just because climbing the mountain, it just makes things a lot easier, a lot nicer, and a lot more stable. 165 down there, definitely on the quicker end of stuff we have seen. I can't say it's a surprise. Again, you know, this Audi isn't a surprising car. Some people might call it boring. I call it nice, you know, and simple and straightforward, and I like it. Right, try not to cock this section up too much. This is another section where you can really overcook it in certain cars, and I indeed did overcook it a little bit there, but not too bad. I managed to make it up there pretty swell and quick as well. Right, as we come down towards the big City Hall building. A little bit late on, or early on the brake, sorry, through there, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Pointer in the correct direction there. It's not going to go any quicker, but it doesn't really need to. That 1:40.574, a very, very good time from the RS4 Audi. Yeah, a solid, impressive time, certainly. And a solid, impressive car to drive. I kind of wish it had bigger tyres. I do wish it had a little bit more grip here and there. You can sort of start to feel the limitation of the tyre sort of through some of these corners. You can really feel like this thing. If you had, say, 305s, maybe one of the more modern versions of this car, like the 2013 RS4 Avant. I don't know what size tyres that can get, but if that came to this course, that could be a very good contender as well. Or even hell, the RS7 Sportback, which has the wide body kit, that could be very, very quick indeed. But, you know, this car, not to take anything away from this car, it is very quick indeed. And with a 1:40.574, it will put itself into 4th place. It goes in between the BMW X5 V12 and the V8 Ford Focus RS. Ironically enough, the last car Jason requested. It is quicker than the TVR Griffith Speed 12, the V8 R33 Skyline, which I saw the V8 R33 Skyline is actually a pretty good competitor for this car. Quicker than the 959, the Lola Stelvio V8 Impreza by over 3 seconds. Yeah, a very excellent car to drive, the Audi, and one I did quite like. So there you go. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching this edition of SIlly Car Showdown. Do hope you've enjoyed. As always, if you'd like to request cars, you can do so down below in the comment section. And if you go into the description on my video, you will find my Discord server. If you want to go in there and request cars in there, that would be a lot easier and a lot more useful for me. It allows me to keep track of the requests and to prioritise adding yours to the list quicker. If you're watching this on HG Central and go to the description, you'll find a link to my channel, which you can come and check out if you want to hear, or if you want to see some subpar content with some really rather below par commentary. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a farewell.